Hey fans, I'm Andrew Weiss, the voice of the Bismarck Bobcats, and it's my job this week to host this week's episode of Central Intelligence. All of the news, facts, stories, game recaps, and everything else you need to know from the NAHL's Central Division. We've got some great games to recap here coming up. Let's take a look at this past week's games and see what happened around the Central Division. On Wednesday, the Minnesota Wilderness were able to shut down the St. Cloud Norsemen to a 5-0 score. Jacob Zakarowicz had a 31-save shutout, while the Wilderness got 5 goals from 5 different goal scorers. On Friday night, the Minot Minotauros were able to squeak out a 5-4 win over the Norsemen with a late goal from Blaine Warner. Tommy Bergslund had 2 goals for the Bismarck Bobcats in a 3-2 win over the Austin Bruins, and Jake Seibel's 31-save shutout propelled the Aberdeen Wings to a 3-0 win over the Minnesota Wilderness. In St. Cloud, Nick Young scored his first career NAHL goal, and Ethan Schmunk had 2 goals and an assist for Minot in the win. On Saturday, the St. Cloud Norsemen avenged their loss with a 5-3 win over the Minotauros. Peyton Hansen, 2 goals and an assist in that win for St. Cloud. The Bismarck Bobcats were able to pick up a 2-1 win in overtime over the Austin Bruins with a game-winning goal from George Granis. Meanwhile, in Aberdeen, Jake Seibel another shutout with 38 saves to guide the Wings to another 3-0 win over the Wilderness. For Austin, Braden Simmons-Fisher scored his first career NAHL goal, while Tyler Kostelecki in Minot had a goal and 2 assists in their loss to the Norsemen. In Bismarck, Tommy Aiken's 24-save performance gave him his second win in 2 nights over the Austin Bruins. The star of the week in the Central Division, who else but Jake Seibel. 2 shutouts in 2 games for Seibel with 69 saves on 69 shots to get the Wings 2 wins in 2 nights. Take a look at the Central Division standings. Aberdeen still in first place in the Central with that clinched playoff spot, 79 points on the year. Bismarck holding down second place, 53 points, 10 points clear of Minot in third with 43. Minnesota holding on to that fourth and final playoff spot with 35 points. The Bruins right behind them with 30, with St. Cloud 29 points. A good battle for that 4th spot in the Central Division. Some big moments in the North American Hockey League and in the Central Division this week. Let's throw down to TJ in Austin for the Bruins interview this week. TJ?
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for that introduction. My name is TJ Shalott, voice of the Austin Bruins, and I am here with Bruins forward and rookie and leading scorer as far as rookies are concerned on the Austin Bruins, Walter Zacher. Walt, thanks for taking the time, coming on out here and chatting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I do want to talk to you a little bit about that. Your first season here in the NAHL, you're leading the Bruins in rookie points with 10 goals and 5 assists. How's it been going for you? What have you found has been the secret to that success so far?
I guess playing with Riddle all year has been very beneficial. He's been feeding me the pucks in the right spot, and then makes it very easy for me to just put them away for him. But yeah, my line mate's been tremendous help this year, helping me move up in the league and as a player. So I'm very thankful for having great teammates this year.
Scored a really nice goal this past Friday against the Bismarck Bobcats. It's kind of a bummer to see the Bruins lose that game, but walk me through that goal because you were left with all kinds of time and all kinds of space. And in talking with assistant coach Justin Fisher, he mentioned to me, he's like, of anyone on this roster that you don't want to give that much time and space to, it's Walter Zacher, and he made it count. Walk us through that goal.
Yeah, so Brooksy and Riddle got out there a little earlier than I did on the shift, and they put together a really good forecheck where their defenseman had nowhere to go but up the boards, and I was just right there to walk it in the slot, basically untouched. But it was a lot of their hard work that freed up that puck right in the middle of the ice for me.
When you have that much kind of time and you're looking in at a goaltender, did you kind of analyze everything subconsciously and say, no, I'm definitely going to go, in this case, it was his blocker side because he's a full right goaltender. Did you know you were going to your right-hand side, or did you kind of change your mind, or did you just put it and hope to put it on net and see how it went?
Yeah, so I knew going in that he is a southpaw, so I knew that shooting blocker side would be an advantage because he grew up his whole life. Because I played a few times with that goalie, so I know that he likes being like that because he'll throw guys off, but I knew to go blocker on him, so I walked right in, and I kind of had my spot picked out once I picked up that puck. So
when we talk about the Bruins staying in these games, I mean, the last 4 games all going to the opponents, but all 1-goal games. What's the mindset of the team? I mean, knowing that you're able to compete with the second best team currently in the NAHL Central Division, the Bismarck Bobcats, knowing that you have the opportunity to take on the third best team in the Minot Minotauros as well and stay in those games. What's been the mindset in the locker room that despite that, their losses up in the L column in the standings, they're still very close games, and it's not like the Bruins are being blown out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little difficult because we know we should be winning some of these games, and when we aren't, we're kind of wondering like what's going on and trying to fix it coming up, especially with this last push of the season to try to make the playoffs. So we're definitely focusing on stuff that we've been at least struggling with as of late to help win these games coming up.
What do you think's kind of been the big letdown so far? If you could pinpoint one particular thing that the team's doing or not doing that's kind of been the result of these losses, what do you think that might be?
I think as someone on our power play, I think we need to be able to score more goals. Having a 5-on-3 on Friday night, not being able to capitalize is a little bit on us. They gave us momentum to be able to be on that power play for that long, and I think we just got to capitalize on our chances and stop letting them come back into the game. Just got to put our foot down and close them out.
Now the Bruins have 3 games coming up this week: a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, all of them at home. That Wednesday night game against the Minnesota Magicians, a team that the Bruins have not yet seen this season. How much preparation can you do for a team like that you haven't yet seen and you don't really know the feel of their game?
We just have to do a lot of film, and we'll adjust like our practice plans to emphasize stuff that they do particularly well. So stuff like that. And then we'll do film on special teams and all that kind of stuff. But it's hard going into a first game like that against a team we have not seen. So
when you look at the Magicians on paper, they're very similar. At least they remind me of the Bismarck Bobcats, the team that we just played this past weekend and the team that we're going to play again this coming weekend. Are you guys going to be – how much of this past weekend against Bismarck are you hoping to take forward in terms of the positive to roll forward? Because like I said, this team has been playing really well. What are some of those things that have been positive that we're going to roll forward and Bruins fans can expect to see this week?
Strong starts. We've been coming out to strong starts where we have first goal in a few of the games that we've played recently, and just working behind their D and keeping their forwards in front of our D and stuff like that. I think we've been doing a lot better as of late.
So if you were to look at the weekend series against the Bismarck Bobcats, the key to beating them, do you think it's getting out to a strong start, or do you think it's something else?
Getting out to a strong start is always important, but as of late, we've been doing that. And our third period, we got to come out strong for all 3 periods, not just 2 and 2.5 and stuff like that. I think we need to put together a full 60 minutes.
Well, Walt, you've been coming out strong all season long for the Austin Bruins. You've gotten double-digit goals now for the Bruins. You're the only rookie in double-digit goals, so we look forward to watching you the rest of the season. Thanks so much for taking the time here and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That was Bruins forward Walter Zacher. That's all we got here from Austin. Let's go ahead and send it back to our host for this week on Central Intelligence, Andrew Weiss.
Thanks, TJ. We go now to Jay in Aberdeen. Jay, what's going on down there in South Dakota?
Thanks, Andrew. I've got Michael Reed of the Aberdeen Wings joining me here from Knoxville, Tennessee. Thanks so much for coming on the show with us today and getting to learn a little about you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, first of all, I always start basically with how people got inspired to start playing hockey, or who some of your influences were. What age were you when you first started skating?
I was 4 years old.
Right on. Anybody that kind of like pushed you in that direction? Or
Yeah, my brother used to play roller hockey, and then he started playing ice hockey with his friend, and he's encouraged me the whole way, and he's been my inspiration.
Yeah, like one of the things I mentioned earlier, that the influence that roller hockey has had on ice hockey has actually kind of a surprise to me, and I didn't realize how big it was in some of the warmer climate states and so on, like Florida and Arizona, places like that. You hear a lot about guys who made that transition. So it was straight onto the ice for you, but it was your brother who was playing rollerblade or roller hockey, or were you on rollers to start with?
No, I didn't ever play roller hockey. Right. I just went straight to ice.
Okay. Well, obviously, I know that the weeks of preparation and the practices and workouts and all that stuff take up a lot of your guys' time. What do you like to do when you're not at the OD, when you're, have a little free time? Do you have any hobbies? Do you play golf or anything like that?
I play golf a few times a year, not that much, but I like to fish a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, just went fishing with Nate.
I was thinking about this a little bit ago about some of the other locations and how we don't exactly have a lot of great fisheries around Aberdeen like some of the other places do in St. Cloud. And obviously the Duluth area, or the northern Minnesota Iron Range, and obviously Bismarck right on the Missouri River, they've got some great fishing opportunities. But you guys have found some places, some smaller lakes and stuff around here that you've been able to catch some fish, huh?
Yeah, there's smaller lakes, some rivers too.
Yeah?
Yep.
So, spending your time out fishing, do you end up keeping them, or are you a big
Catch and release guy.
catch and release? Right on. All right, well, this week is a little bit strange for the scheduling, of course, with a midweek game, and then you're off to St. Cloud again. A lot of time on the bus here lately. What are your go-tos on a road trip? What do you have to take with you? Is there, like a pillow, a certain pillow, or a blanket or something, or what is it that you just feel lost without when you go on the bus?
I always take the same pillow and blanket. I usually bring Cheez-Its or some sort of snack.
Yeah.
And then I always have peach rings for the drive back.
Peach rings.
Yeah, I love those. Favorite candy.
Nice. Does that matter whether it's a win or a loss, or it's always peach rings,
Always
or does it
peach.
change? Okay. Well, I never know. Sometimes it depends upon how the outcome of the game went, and you switch it up a little bit. I know some people that it would depend for.
Yeah, don't have to switch it up that much this year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's about all I've got for you, actually, on this portion of Central Intelligence. I appreciate you coming on with me, though, Michael. I appreciate your time, and thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Jay. We'll throw it now to Mark Shelley out in St. Cloud. Shelley, how are things out there in Minnesota?
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Mark Shelley here with Nick Young, the defenseman for the Norsemen. And Nick, this weekend you got your first career North American Hockey League goal. What was that feeling like when you scored that on Friday night against Minot?
It was a great feeling. I was just glad that I could step up to the plate to tie it up and try and get us back on track and start getting some more goals over and over. And I was just really happy that I got my first one with the Norsemen too. I've been on a lot of teams this year, so I'm happy it was with these boys.
Well, not only do you get your first goal of the season, but the very next night you get an assist, now a 2-game point streak for you. And what did you feel coming into this weekend that said, this is going to be where I start turning things on and start getting some points and maybe start moving more from the defensive side and start putting up some points on the offensive side of things?
Well, the coaches were saying, we need somebody to step up and take the bull by the horns, and I really wanted to focus on my defense. Obviously, they want me to get into bodies and get pucks out, but, we needed a goal, and I just knew I had to step up and help out.
Well, you guys pick up the weekend split this past weekend, and ultimately you get 2 points out of the possible 4, but it puts you right back and keeps you in stride with Austin and right there nipping on the heels of the Wilderness. How important is it for you guys to continue this form running forward, knowing this is going to be a dogfight down the stretch for that final playoff spot?
Yeah, every single game from now on is crucial, and they're all my brothers. We're all super tight. We're a family, so as long as we keep coming together, being one, working every single shift for the person next to you, and that's how you know that you're really going to go and you're really going to play as hard as you can every night.
Well, you guys see Minot again on Sunday, and you have Aberdeen on Friday and Saturday. How do you prepare for these 3 games coming up on this weekend? And then the very next weekend, you have 3 games again on the weekend. How do you guys mentally and physically prepare for that?
Yeah, it starts every day in practice, just going as hard as we can, going game speed. So when we come into it, we're ready, we're prepared. They're 2 good teams, so the more we practice how we play, the better off we'll be. And also just taking care of our bodies, hydrating, rest. I know we've had a lot of sickness going around lately, so just taking care of our bodies after practice is key.
Well, Nick, congratulations on your first career goal, and best of luck this coming weekend. I'm Mark Shelley, and back to you, Andrew.
I'm here now with Bobcats head coach Lane Sedevy. Lane, big weekend this past weekend for your guys. 4 points over the Austin Bruins in 2 very close battles. 4 straight wins for your team now. What have you seen over the last 2 weekends, especially this past weekend, from your team?
Yeah, I thought we had some good push there in a tough series. You look at standings, and we're getting down to the dog days here, and you're starting to see some maybe a little more clear picture right now. And we knew Austin was going to come in and compete, and it was going to be a dogfight, and had a really good third period on Friday night, and I think that kind of propelled us into Saturday. I thought the guys played hard all game. It was a good hockey game, and found a way to one of our veteran guys stepped up for us in a key spot.
Now, this upcoming weekend, you're taking on the Bruins again, and like we just talked about, this is it was a physical game. It was a game where you've got a team with their backs against the wall with the Bruins, but also a very physical team. And let's be honest, 2 teams that don't seem to like each other a lot this year.
You get them on the road this weekend as well as the Minnesota Wilderness with 3 games in 3 days. What kind of challenges do you expect from those two teams, especially with their position in the standings?
Well, I just think you're gonna. I mean, everybody's fighting for everything right now, and it's one of those things where you always say, these are the biggest 2 points of the year. Well, in reality, it definitely feels that way. But the 2 points, and unfortunately, in October, November, December, I mean, just as much as they do now, there's just a lot clearer picture with games played, and especially with the stuff that went on this year with the Wilderness and St. Cloud and Austin a little bit as far as COVID goes. But I think it's that time of the year where you want to be playing the right brand of hockey, and you want to start doing things the right way. And I think that was the nice part about Saturday night. I thought we played hard. I thought we played a playoff style game in order to have success at that time of the year.
And playoff style might be something that the Bobcats will be hearing a lot more in upcoming weeks. You have this weekend 3 games in 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday in Cloquet against the Wilderness, Friday and Saturday in Austin against the Bruins. If my math serves me correctly here, which we all know it's not always the case, the Bobcats with 3 wins this weekend, coupled with losses by the Bruins, obviously, to the Bobcats, and St. Cloud, could give your team a clinch for a playoff spot, currently in second in the Central Division. How important is it for your guys to go out there and try to get that goal this weekend, depending on how other results play out, of course?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just want to be in the spot where you can control your own outcome, and I think the guys have done a good job of that. They've it's not, we're not in a situation right now, and that's the kudos goes to the guys in the room that we can worry about our results on a nightly basis, and they put themselves in that position, and you don't have to worry about what another team's doing. To me, it seems like that's probably 90% of the way when you're playing interdivision. But it's to me, it's we take Thursday 1 game at a time, and we worry about what we're doing. So the rest will play itself out, and I think that's the big part. Is we just need to keep playing the right brand of hockey and keep trying to get to the peak at the right time of the year.
And right now, the Bobcats with a 4-game winning streak, and 2 of the main key figures behind this 4-game winning streak are 2 guys that were nominated for awards this week. Tommy Aiken named the runner-up for Star of the Week for the Central Division, and Tommy Bergsland named an honorable mention. The 2 Tommies have been phenomenal during this 4-game win streak. Bergsland now 25 points his last 24 games. Tommy Aiken over this 4-game win streak. 4 wins, 1 goal allowed per game is the GAA that he has during this win streak. What do these 2 kind of bring to the table for your guys? What do you expect from them this weekend against the teams in Mini?
Well, I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think you've seen Bergie really kind of flourish for us. You talk about those type of points, and for a D-man, that's pretty special, and just a great kid, and obviously we gave him an A here, leading into last weekend, well deserved. A little shout out to obviously Timmy Piowski too. Got an A with Bergie, but type of kid, type of character. It's awesome for him for us to see, him have the success that he is on the ice, and I think Tommy's been phenomenal for us in the net. I mean, we haven't had our best performances in this 4-game win streak. I mean, I think he was 76 for 77, with Austin and St. Cloud in there. But he was solid all weekend this weekend, past weekend for us too. So I think he's gaining confidence, which is big as a goaltender, and something that's just well earned for both those guys.
We'll see how those 2, plus the rest of the Bobcats, do this weekend as they travel to Minnesota. Cloquet on Thursday night against Minnesota Wilderness, and then Friday and Saturday in Spamtown as the Cats take on the Bruins. Lane, appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend against those 3, or in those 3 games.
All right, thanks a lot, Andrew.
Thanks, Andrew. I'm here with Toros forward Blaine Wernart. Blaine, you had the game-winning goal on Saturday, your 2nd game winner in as many weeks. Walk me through how you scored it.
Yeah, so I saw Kroll get in our defensive zone. He chipped it off the glass, so I was just hoping it was going to bounce behind the defenseman, and luckily it did, so I had a step to the net, and I took it to the net, and that luckily went in.
The Toros are in a really good spot to make a really deep playoff push. What's going to be the main key for you guys?
I think the main key for us is just we're going to need to keep beating the teams below us and obviously take some points from the teams ahead of us to give us a good head start for the playoffs.
This is a really weird year with everything COVID related. We usually start the playoffs this weekend, but we still have a whole nother month to play. How's that going to take a toll on you guys mentally and physically?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a little weird playing so late this year, but the coach has been doing a great job here, giving us a couple days away from the rink here and there, and I think it's obviously fun just playing later into the summer when you can go golf after practice and stuff like that, so it's going to be fun either way.
Back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Peter. We'll throw it down now to Carrie with Minnesota. Carrie, how's it going with the Wilderness?
Thanks, Andrew. Last week, we had a chance to catch up with head coach John Valancourt, talk a little bit about how this season is going and how he and his coaching staff are kind of navigating this not so normal season. This week, we have the pleasure of having Mitch Allard, who is the Wilderness captain, with us. Mitch, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What do you see, wearing that C on your jersey is a pretty big deal.
Yep.
What do you see your role as captain of this team being both on and off the ice?
I see my role as like on the ice. You got to be ready to go every single day. You got to show up. Everybody has a role on their team, and my role is being hard every game, playing physical. So I got to play my role, get everybody up on the bench, getting everybody ready for the game. So that's my biggest thing. And then off the ice, it's just making sure everybody's feeling good, ready to go, being loud. Everybody's dialed. So that's what I would say. So.
Sure, yeah, getting everybody tuned in for the games, but this season you guys have had kind of a demanding season some weeks, 8 games and a 10-11 day stretch.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be that leader of being mentally and physically prepared to show the other guys, hey, we got this type of thing.
Definitely. And I definitely stress to all the boys that taking care of your bodies and recovery is huge for this long season that we're playing so many games in short amount of time. So you got to be taking care of your bodies, getting ready, getting rest, and being ready to go every single day for sure. So.
Right. Big deal for you to set the example for that. Thanks, Mitch, for joining us. Back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Carrie. We've got a great docket full of games coming up here in the Central Division. Let's take a look at our previews for this week's matchups. Tonight, the Wings visit the Minotauros in Minot. Aberdeen leads the season series 7-1. Thomas Manti, Nathan Vertiz, and Clayton Cosentino, all very strong performances this season for the Wings against the Toros. Tomorrow night in Austin, the Minnesota Magicians will visit the Austin Bruins for the first time this season. Should be a fun one as the Bruins look to pick up some points with an out-of-division game. Thursday night in Cloquet, the Bismarck Bobcats travel to take on the Minnesota Wilderness. Bobcats have yet to lose to the Wilderness this season with a 3-0 record against Minnesota. Tim Piowski, Owen Michaels, and Ryan Taylor have led the way for the Cats against Minnesota so far this season. This weekend, the Bobcats will head to Austin to take on the Bruins Friday and Saturday night in Austin. Bobcats lead the season series 4-2. The Minotauros will visit the Minnesota Wilderness Friday and Saturday in Cloquet. An even 3 wins for both sides this year, but the Toros lead the season series with 3 wins, 2 regulation losses, and 1 past regulation. The Wings will visit the Norsemen in St. Cloud. Aberdeen leading that season series 7-1. Peyton Matsui, Clayton Cosentino, and Spencer Schneider all with big performances against the Norsemen so far this year. St. Cloud looking to keep pace for that final playoff spot in the Central Division. Then on Sunday, the Toros and the Norsemen will battle in a big game in St. Cloud. Minot leads the season series 5-3-2 record against St. Cloud this season. Big game with the Toros looking to get closer to the Bobcats for second place in the Central, and St. Cloud trying to get closer to that 4th playoff spot. Well, it's been a fun episode here of Central Intelligence this week. Once again, for the Bismarck Bobcats, I'm Andrew Weiss. We'll wrap things up this week with the highlights from around the Central. Join us next week for another episode of Central Intelligence. Take care.
Hansen along the boards, and now Lawson will pick it up. Pass goes to Pashik. He moves out on the right, gets the shot away, and he scores! Brendan Pashik saved the puck. That's his first NAHL goal.
Puck in the Bismarck zone, taken by Bergslund. Head now for Granis. Another rush up the ice here in the final minute of overtime. Granis into the attacking zone. Nice little toe drag. He'll cut the front of that. Fires! Scores! George Granis! Unbelievable move! He wins the game for the Cats!
36 seconds left. Taken away. Kroll flicks that out into the offensive zone. Warner driving the net, trying to stop it. It's in! Blaine Warner with 27 seconds has given the Toros a 5-4 lead.
Suki was upended in the power play, knocking on the door. Somebody let me in, but the door stays locked. Stretch to Gay. Gay shoots, scores!
Bender flips it into the Minnesota zone. And here goes Sarter. chance, backdoor, nice save made by Cybele. 9:50 left of the first. And a grade A chance for the Wilderness.
Simmons Fisher back to the point. Deasing with a shot. Gets off of traffic, loose in the slot. They score! Braden Simmons Fisher on the doorstep. He pounds it home off a block, and the Bruins will take a 1-0 lead on the first NAHL goal for Braden Simmons Fisher. Here's Herder. Over to Doctor in the slot, shot, and he scores! Grant Doctor puts the Wilderness up 1-0.